Okay, hi everyone, and this is our third and final post from AGS Conclave. The program just ended. There's going to be a sort of closing party tonight, and it's been quite a whirlwind. It's been a very interesting few days. The third day was a bit, for me personally, it was a bit different. I got to sit with one or two people and have sort of more intimate and in-depth conversations with them. And it was a bit less focused on the sessions, more about meeting and talking to people, which I came to the realization that that's really what Conclave is all about. It's one of the things that stood out for me in the 3 weeks which was really my first exposure to AGS and the American Gem Society and Conclave and its Conclave annual event, is that it's really about community, and I really had this sort of felt this sense of community within the among the participants. And one of the guys, actually, I was going up to one of the events in an elevator, and we were discussing this aspect of it, and a guy said to me that it's what's unique about Conclave is that you don't have this tension between suppliers and buyers. That everyone's kind of this, everyone's here for the same reason, which is, I would say, a mixture between education, learning more about the industry, and networking, just getting to know people and broadening your circle within the industry. And so when you go to the different trade shows, it's kind of about hustling and buying, selling, negotiating, and there's this kind of me versus them type of atmosphere. There was none of that at Conclave. It's just it's a conference and an education seminar, and everyone's just having a good time. Really, it was a really good, positive feel about the program. And so just within the attendance, you kind of feel this part of the community, I guess, which really I gave my presentation at the end of the day, and one of the points that I made is that there's a shift towards kind of a corporate mindset within the industry, which is needed, because of the issues with compliance and strengthening one's brand and sort of imbuing this, giving confidence in your company and your product. And part of the things that we need to do as an industry is adopt a more corporate mindset. But that shouldn't take away from the personality that what is essentially a family business driven industry brings to the market. One of the awesome things about the diamond and the jewelry trade is that it's essentially a lot of these family businesses that are trying to navigate this environment. And in the past, that sort of led to a kind of a lax way of doing business. There was it was a handshake business rather than a proper invoicing business. So while there is a shift towards a corporate mindset, it's very reassuring that we still have this personality, and there were some incredible personalities at this conclave, and we certainly saw that on the jewelry side of things. I had a chance today to sit with the team from Lightbox, and they also gave a presentation at the conclave. And there were some interesting things that came out of our discussion that I'll probably write about at some point, or maybe we'll have a podcast about Lightbox. But what was also interesting is that it's always interesting, actually, sort of following on from their announcement in Vegas last year, in May last year, where they made this announcement that De Beers is entering the lab-grown diamond space, and they said it to an audience of predominantly retail jewelers. And so it was interesting for me to see that interaction again, 6 to 8 months later, of this Lightbox team talking to jewelers. And one of the points that Sally Morrison and Steve Coe, the CEO, and Sally's the marketing head of marketing at Lightbox, and Steve is the CEO of the brand. One of the points that they made to me is that this is really an education program. It's for them. They're on a because I asked them, what are you doing at AGS? This is and we know that they're going to at some point roll out their brand to retail, supplying on a wholesale level to retailers, and retailers will carry the brand in their stores at some point, probably next year. At the moment, they're only selling online. But they were very clear. It's not about recruiting retailers. It's about educating people about the product. And one of the contrasts that they spoke about is we're so consumed about this and so involved in this conversation about lab-grown diamonds, but it's really a trade conversation. And consumers are there's more of there's confusion within the trade as well about lab grown, and particularly about Lightbox. And my own perceptions are I think changing, and I need to give it some more thought before I really take a clearer stand about it. But on a consumer level, there's a lot of misconceptions about lab grown, and what I like is what Lightbox is saying, that they really are differentiating the product from the natural product, and there's still, we saw in the audience, there's still a clear resistance to and mistrust about De Beers selling the product, which I think is understandable, and they really got to still prove their worth, a Lightbox. But what you can't take away from them is that they are making a clear distinction between lab grown and natural, and you can't say that for too many synthetics brands out there today. So that's something that we should be supporting, I think, from Lightbox perspective. Anyway, I don't want to go too into it because I really want to give some more thought into that topic and maybe write something on a more in-depth level. But I thought it was worth mentioning that this topic has come up at Conclave, which is essentially a forum for jewelry retailers in the United States. So it's been interesting. Anyway, it's been a really enjoyable week. I guess this is my forum to thank the organizers and AGS for they didn't host me, but giving me a platform to speak at the conclave and to participate. It really was for me about participating, and I learned so much about a part of the industry that I'm not always so readily exposed to. So I appreciate that opportunity. And that's it. I head back to Israel tomorrow. And hopefully we'll start doing more of these sort of online video blogs and see where our conversation heads. Next week I'm going to be giving a webinar online. There's registration details that you can contact us about, but it's really our quarterly webinar that we give about the state of the market and what we saw in the first quarter of 2019. So hopefully it'll be a good and interesting discussion. So until next time, God bless, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Thanks.